I don't know.
This is the Sports Porch, Philadelphia, with your hosts, the Grand Schwabini, Rube, and me, your technical director. Come on, Philly, show us a little Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, and Sixers love. The Philadelphia Sports Porch starts now. Oh, yeah. Fire it up. It's the Philadelphia Sports Porch here live with you on Facebook, YouTube, and X. And I'm going to drop that podcast right after this show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. I am TD, the technical director. Rube to my left or right. I don't fucking care what direction it is. Rube is a lifelong Philly fan living in Austin, Texas, and he's got, what is that? ATX is Austin's airport, right? Or is that just Austin's abbreviation?
All the above.
Or did you make that up? Okay. And below me is the grand,
Nobody cares.
The Grand Schwabini coming from. Look, if you guys were here before the show, we should do a show before the show. Once in a while, kind of goes off the rails, and Rube was explaining to us what I thought was like a KFC in Taiwan and their Americanized dish. I have no idea, but he was comparing it to pho, which to me should be pronounced pho. But I get it. I want to be sensitive to that. What are we going to do?
Again, nobody cares.
I know. We're not going to talk about Vietnamese food or whatever the hell I was just talking about. We're going to talk about Philly sports because it's been a great week. That Eagles victory, there's a downside to it. I know we're going to talk about that, but they got off to a real hot start, and that was incredible. Obviously, the Phillies back in the playoffs. I read a really long ESPN article about all, ranking who's going to win what, when, and where, and a lot of sports writers are looking at the Phillies and saying they have the most well-rounded team to do it. I happen to agree. I'm sure we'll talk about that. We got Trey Turner. We got Kyle Schwarber. We got Christopher Sanchez. We're going to be talking about them. Then Schwarber is going to grace us with something that he's been watching. Did I miss anything in all the pages as I, winged this introduction?
You pretty much got it. Let's start with the birds.
Okay.
Let's maybe see a highlight or two. Let's check out that opening punt.
Okay, let me see if I can catch up because I'm behind now. You're talking about the blocked punt? Yeah, you're talking about this.
Oh, the pressure, they blocked it. Sidney Brown's got it. He's going to return it for a touchdown. Cam Latu got the block. Brown for 6. It's just, you got Brown coming around and Latu right up the middle, takes it right off of Dixon's foot. Right where the aim point is.
Yeah. Before you say anything, I just want to say that during this game, I think Tom Brady got a little better this year. Disagree or agree? Just a little bit.
Actually, I think Tom Brady was great last year. He's my favorite announcer. I think you learn so much from listening to him. Yeah, I think it's not even close.
He's not my favorite announcer. I think his voice is a little whiny. I'd like something a little bit more masculine. Now, that being said, I like the guy that was there before him, Olsen. I thought he was
Greg
really
Olsen.
good. Yeah, Greg
Olsen is
Olsen.
pretty good.
I think he kind of got screwed out of that number 1 lead, so I like him. But I think my favorite pairing is Aikman and Buck. I think they do a great job.
Yeah, they do.
Me too.
They do a great job. All right. So let's talk about the game, and let's talk about that play, which, by the way, I was in a hotel right outside of Philadelphia. I was there for a wedding this weekend. I was in Bernathen. I don't know if you guys remember Bernathen, but that cathedral's pretty big, let me tell you. But when that happened, I thought, wait a minute, was I just transported to last week? I mean, what is going on? And
Special teams is on fire.
No kidding.
We hear a lot of complimentary, a lot of terms, a lot of complimentary football when your special teams wins you probably 2 games. The most important person on the team is from the special teams, as we all know with Jake Elliott, and your offense is getting outgained terribly for a 4-0 team. So complementary football is the word of the week, or is the phrase of the week.
Yeah, yeah. Well, isn't that an interesting term though? Like all complementary football really means is there's a contribution from offense, defense, and special teams. That's like all it really means. It's like if you don't play complementary football, then you're not playing it the right way. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I think so, but usually what you and I'll tell you what, when we talk about game balls, I think maybe if we're along the same wavelength between the three of us, we may talk more about special teams. We'll come back to that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, to me, complementary football is, to bring in a Pittsburgh reference, a Mike Tomlin term.
Exactly, and that's kind of why I hate it.
Yeah. I knew you would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think all teams that are great teams have down days on either side of the ball, or it's bad special teams day. So right now, the offense does not seem to be clicking, especially in the pass game. It's not horrible, but it's kind of not there. So, or the run game for that matter. Saquon really hasn't done a whole lot yet this year.
Well,
but
the data's there, TD. I just heard a stat sometime today. Essentially, this is the first 4-0 team in like 90 years that has been outgained by like almost 300 yards net.
Yeah. So the offense is not performing well, and the defense is doing a good job and getting stops when it needs to and turnovers when it needs to. And special teams is coming through bigger than special teams usually comes through. So it's a very good football team, and they're off to a 4-0 start. And it's because of that. I don't know that I wouldn't call that complimentary football. I would just call that a great football team. They're put together really well, and the offense will come around, hopefully, when the defense gets a little tired, and they pick up the slack. So this is all good stuff. And I still believe they're going to win the Super Bowl. I know you guys don't, but I think they're on their way.
Who said we didn't?
I don't know. I just know that. I just know I picked them.
I think it was our picks. Actually, our picks told us we didn't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. If you didn't pick them, you don't think they're going to win it. So
how are all those Baltimore picks looking right now?
Yeah, pretty good.
Not good. This. I think they got a problem, and their whole team is hurt. I think there's a big problem. When the Steelers are the class of the NFC East, not to go Pittsburgh, because I hate when we bring Pittsburgh up on this show.
This is your fault once again. I kind of brought it up, but you're going
AFC North.
I'm sorry, the AFC North. Yeah. I mean, golly, man, that division is right for the taking. Yeah. There's that.
Yeah. So, okay, Schwaber, we got a couple more highlights we want to get through here before
let's do the very fun fake tush push.
Which I thought was just brilliant. Here we go.
Play clock winding down. You should say, you know what to do on one. Ready? Oh, they chip it up. Saquon Barkley. They fooled everyone. He walks in. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Maybe that was why the play call was a little bit longer. Looked like he was getting a few extra words out of his mouth. You try to defend it, and you see all the bodies, and then it's just a little counter.
Brilliant move. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, they tried it last year, and it didn't work.
Really?
Yeah, they did.
They had a couple of plays off of the tush push formation that actually worked, and you're right, it hadn't worked historically. So it was neat to see. I just wonder if we pulled too much out of the bag too early in the season. But we needed it. We needed every point we could on Sunday. So c'est la vie.
Right. I mean, it's always fun to. When you got a play that they're like, it's not aesthetically pleasing. Well, I thought that was pretty aesthetically pleasing.
I think you said aesthetically very well.
Yeah. Look, it's going to work more often than it's not going to work, as long as you pull it out once in a while.
Right.
And if anything, what it does is it puts teams on notice that it's a possibility and kind of loosens up that middle even more. So,
Right, exactly.
I don't see a downside to it. And to me, now I'm going to bring in an old Redskins reference. This is a classic Joe Gibbs type of call. You're completely 100%, the entire stadium, not just the other team and the play callers. They're bought into the notion that this is what's going to happen, and you do the exact opposite. And it works. So it was a brilliant call. I guarantee you Sirianni was channeling a little Joe Gibbs when he
I did love how wide open it was. Like there was nobody even close.
Yeah. Wasn't on anybody's minds. Nobody in the entire stadium. There wasn't. Maybe there was one fan way up there on the other side, on the other end zone, going, "He's gonna give it to Barkley," and nobody
watch the fake tush push.
Yeah. I know. One guy is like, "I told them it was coming." So, that was a great play. I love to see that. You got any thoughts on it, Rube?
Yeah, and listen, my only thought is, I'm glad it worked, and hopefully there's other variations off that we can pull out at the right time. So, nice to see a walk-in touchdown. So those are my thoughts.
Let's take a look at the two of the good defensive plays of the game.
All right, how about this this big sack here? We'll take a look at this.
I love the way he just like took his head off.
I love that too, and hopefully it'll start playing here in a moment.
There you go.
Mayfield in trouble, and he is decked. Back in midfield, Moro Ajuma came through.
No time to sort this out. Just a great rush on the left side, a three-man game. Ajuma comes right through the middle. Bond's there to meet him. Baker has no chance. Soon as Carter picks off Bredesen, he's home free to the QB.
It almost looked like Baker Mayfield like flew in the air about 3 yards.
Yeah. But I got to tell you, what a great call by Fangio. I mean, the scheme they had, taking two blockers out so he could wrap himself around through the middle, through that gap. That to me, that was pure genius. That's Vic Fangio, 100%.
Well, what's interesting about Fangio is he really does call the games catered to what his team's strengths and weaknesses are.
Right.
So right now we got Nolan Smith is out with an injury, and obviously we lost Josh Sweat. So our defensive ends, I mean, we're certainly really thin there, and we're not really getting a pass rush from the outside. So, in the Super Bowl, Vic Fangio didn't blitz once. And in this game against Tampa Bay, he blitzed 40% of the downs.
Yeah, wow.
So,
it's interesting because all during the game they kept saying, well, Sirianni's strategy is keep them caged in. And lo and behold, they get two humongous plays on backyard football that got behind us, right? And what if Fangio's face was priceless on both of those?
Yeah. All right, let's see the Jihad Campbell interception.
Okay.
Mayfield pressure, steps away, good fake, bouncing off his own guys, in deep trouble. Intercepted! Jihad Campbell has it. There's a penalty though, hang on.
He's looking out to the left. He had a chance to just throw it to Bucky, gets his eyes down in coverage, and now he's thinking make a play, and there's just no play to be made. And it's such the fine line between being a real playmaker and then when you get outside the pocket, Blankenship tips it, thinks he might have it, but these things are so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Jihad Campbell's coming up with plays every week, man.
Yeah.
He's a big time player. He's a big time player.
He's got a lot of speed.
There's a lot of go ahead, Tommy, please.
I was gonna say he did get beat on that running back
Bucky Irving. Yeah.
But at the same time, like he covered him for like 6-7 seconds. I mean, that's almost like a the pass rush failing. You can't expect a linebacker to cover a fast running back, for 6-7 seconds,
Yeah.
and ad-libbing at the same time. And he still actually had pretty good coverage.
Yeah, and he almost tackled him.
Yeah.
I mean, he got his arms around his feet, but he didn't go down.
So what would you say, Rube,
Mhm.
overall this game? Look, it was a weird game because it was a great first half. And then the second half, to be honest, was just rather dreadful. Besides those two defensive plays we just showed. Outside of that, I mean, I guess in the fake tush push was in the second half, but it was pretty dreadful in the second half. I mean, I can't even remember a time where it was like Hurts was like 0 for 8 in the second half.
Yeah, we didn't complete a pass the whole second half, and on no level of football, even Pee Wee is that good. So
I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's it was a tale of two halves for sure, and I'm trying. I say this every week. I'm trying not to be Negadelphia, but there was a lot of negative to come out of that half of football. And quite frankly, even in the first half when everything was going well, how many stupid penalties did we have? Rough throwing the guy down, pass interference. I think the technical director even reached out and said, "What is Quignon doing?" In nice terms. I think he used worse terms than that.
Sticking his fingers.
Now that I like him playing with an edge, but it was a little too much. And oh, by the way, the Sirianni thing too still fucking bothers me. I don't need him running down the sideline saying, "I told you so, I told you so," when we block the punt. I need him sitting there quietly and saying, "Oh, we found something. Maybe we can do that again," and stop telling the whole world how great he is. I just that annoys me. So those were the negatives, right? Too many stupid flags. Just a terrible, a terrible offensive game plan in the second half, and and now all this stupid nonsense with AJ Brown is just why? Why?
Yeah, shall we do the lead into AJ Brown?
Yeah, speaking of which, there is this guy's a genius on
now.
Instagram.
By the way, sorry, before we go there, did we want to do game balls or are we doing the positive after the negative?
We could do the positive after the negative.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do game balls now.
No, you didn't listen.
No.
We're gonna do it after
The Philly Birds played a game in Tampa Bay.
This guy's great.
1,000 degrees on a Sunday. The Bucks won 4 of the last 5. It's needless to say, we must figure out how to win some way. Oh, we blocked another kick and grabbed the belt and spank. You know the Birds by now. And we said no thanks to the overtime. In 4 quarters, we kicked pirate booty. Oh, the Eagles are 4-0, and that's what it's all about. But can somebody tell me what this is about? What is AJ talking about? Oh, well, go Birds.
I love that guy.
I know that's what did I say? Who did I say that was?
Kevin Williams.
Robert
Williams.
Robert Williams Films. That's a reel on Facebook. We got to give him props for that. I've watched a couple of these, and I'll tell you, I crack up every single time. It's just fantastic. So follow this guy.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that what AJ was talking about, I actually think he's showing some class. I think he's communicating that he's frustrated, which is okay. And I do think he's doing it in a way that's kind of like, look, they could use, I
think you're out of your mind.
I think you're out of your mind too.
You're out of your freaking mind.
Really?
Why?
Keep it in house. Talk to somebody. You don't tweet cryptic shit.
I guess you're right about that.
I say I'm done with this shit, to be honest with you. Yes, he's very important, but come on, enough already. Grow up. You want to go be you want to go be on a losing team. You want to go be on a losing team and get 100 yards every week. have at it. We tried to force the ball to him in the second half, and it was,
That's right.
excuse my French, it was fucking ugly. Like,
Yeah.
we had no right throwing any of those passes just because he was probably in Jalen's ear saying, give me the ball, give me the ball. You know what? I'm not saying Jalen was perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we also can't have him dropping back and thinking, oh man, I better throw it to AJ or he's going to be mad this week, and that's all we're going to talk about. I think enough is enough. Do it in house. If you don't like it, ask for a trade. This is the way we play. It's the same thing year after year after year with this guy. I'm fed up.
I mean, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is he's a selfish player that in all honesty, he really doesn't care that much about winning.
I don't think he does.
He really doesn't. I mean, he's a guy who, after the Super Bowl, 2 days after the Super Bowl, he put out a tweet that said something like, I thought it was going to be all worth it to win, and then I realized it wasn't. And why wasn't it? Because he didn't have like 250 yards in the game. You know what I mean? Because Devontae Smith caught the big touchdown. You know what I mean? It's just like he's just a totally selfish player. You're exactly right. He cares more. He's like, I already got my Super Bowl now. I just want to pad my stats so I can make the Hall of Fame. And then I can also make all pros and be able to tell the rest of the league that I'm the best receiver. And all this kind of bullshit. And by the way, he wasn't doing a good job of getting open this week.
No, he was not.
He was not getting open. And for a guy who says he's always open, he was not open. And I also listened to a couple people, quality people like Ron Jaworski, and Jason Avant were commenting on. There were 2 deep balls thrown that Jalen basically ended up throwing out of bounds. They were thrown out of bounds because it was a horrible route by AJ Brown, that he was too close to the sideline, and Jalen didn't have anywhere to go with the ball. They both said that like those throws were a result of poor route running by AJ Brown.
Last year, the last couple of years, it was. Man, AJ is right. Jalen just doesn't know how to throw the ball, and he doesn't time well. He doesn't do his reads well, and the blah, 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 blah. And all of that may be true. Maybe he's not the best passer in the league, but as fans, I just want to win. And that's all the guy does is win. And so now it's like, well, who did you think that tweet was about? It wasn't about the offensive scheme. It wasn't about Sirianni. It was about Jalen Hurts.
Right.
And I'm sick of defending the receiver over the quarterback. The quarterback has earned the benefit of the doubt until he loses.
Well,
look,
go ahead.
Here's the other thing. I mean, the other part of this is like, look, I fully acknowledge that we need AJ Brown. Yep. We can't just trade him because he's a problem. The bottom line is he was a problem last year. Remember last year he was reading the book on the sideline, right? That's why my wife has a T-shirt that says AJ Brown Book Club. That was, obviously that was bent out of shape a little bit. It actually wasn't anything terrible that he was doing, but he was making comments like, that, the passing game, we should be more aggressive. I need to get the ball more, and that's okay. You want to contribute, but he's been like this for a while now, and as I recall, what happened last year is, we come out the next game and he has a big game and then he shuts up for 6 weeks. You know what I mean? So, the bottom line is these guys are just freaking divas. And I think you put up with it while you're in your Super Bowl window. Let's try to get one more out of them and then let them go after the year. And if we don't win this year, then maybe we hang on to them for one more year, try to get one more out of them.
I don't think, listen, I think the Eagles are what the Eagles are, and it's been damn successful. They're not a passing team. They're a run-first team, and that's what the success has been. We need them. We do need the passing game, but maybe he just doesn't fit in the scheme anymore, and that's terrible to say. He is still one of the top 5 receivers in the league. I just don't think Hurts is going to turn into, Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes overnight. He's going to be who he is, and that's winning football. So maybe it's time.
And here's the thing. I mean, the thing that I think is I don't think it's so much about uh, how Hurts throws the football. I mean, in fact, he's very good at the deep throw, right? To
Mhm.
AJ Brown. I think it's really more about because the Eagles are a running football team, it makes sense a lot more for Hurts to use his legs. And so I think what AJ Brown gets frustrated about is there are probably some plays where Hurts could throw at the Brown and maybe he's wide open, but instead he says, "Oh, I only have 5 yards for the first down and there's nobody in front of me. I'm just going to make sure I get that." So he's playing like smart football, and I think AJ just doesn't care for that. He'd rather have a quarterback who only throws.
So to that point, question to you guys, do you think, listen, all the stats say, no, we win the turnover battle, we win. Do you think we've become too conservative?
Oh, definitely. I mean, look, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is we've got a brand new first time play calling coordinator. Okay.
Mhm.
He's going to have issues. But look, at the same time though, let's not put all the blame on him because
Sirianni is helping to call the plays as
yeah.
well.
Oh, but here's the thing. Do you know the Eagles, they're at the bottom of the league in all these categories, but you know what? They're at the top of the league. They've had 11 red zone
Yeah.
possessions, and they're
Red zone
11 for
efficiency.
11 in
Yeah.
touchdowns,
Yeah.
100%.
And they're
scored-
eighth in the
they
and they're
scored
eighth
when
in the
they're there.
league in third down conversions.
Yeah, and all 3 touchdowns yesterday were pretty creative too. However, I will say this though. Outside of the red zone, I do think that they're kind of stale. And I do question things like, for example, there were games where, you know, it's like if you're running Saquon Barkley up the middle and it's not working, let's not do it 8 times. Let's try going to the other side or, or something, right? Let's try a screen pass or, I don't know. So I think he's got work to do. And then look, here's the other side of it as well. I mean, the other way of looking at it is, these 4 games, I mean, with the exception of Dallas, these were massively difficult games. I mean, you're talking about the team that made it to the Super Bowl last year and the Chiefs. You're talking about the Rams who
Almost
could have
beat us.
been almost beat us, could have went to the Super Bowl. And you're talking about Tampa Bay, which is our kryptonite. We're 20-1 in our last 21 games, but we've lost 4 out of the last 5 to Tampa Bay. That's like our kryptonite.
Yeah.
So, and we won all of these games. So, look, I mean, eventually we're going to play some patsies and, that's probably when we'll start putting up some big games.
Are you calling
right?
Jackson Dart a patsy?
Yes.
Well, without
now.
without Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's funny. You can lay criticism on anything. You can find the good and bad in anything. The Eagles are 4-0. Schwaber's got a point. Even that Dallas game. Look, you're starting the season against a hated rival, Dallas. Always tight. We'll see how good or bad they are this year. But these 4 games, you go 4-0, and you're finding things to complain about. I mean, we got to tinker here, we got to tinker there. Now, I'm not saying you guys in particular. I'm just saying this is classic. I mean, you ride the 4-0. It's a win. Look, AJ Brown, yeah, he's a diva. I stand by what I said. I think he was trying to communicate in the best way that he knew. But obviously, yeah, he's a diva. There's no doubt about it. But I think the most important thing now is to continue to find ways to win. And you're right, Schwaber. A brand new OC. Yes, he was there in the years before, but he's calling a little bit more conservative. I'd like to see a little more Saquon, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them get that running game going a little better. I know there's some banged up offensive linemen.
Right.
That doesn't help.
I think you're exactly right, TD, and I think that's the root of the problem. I don't think Jalen's got time to throw, and the running game isn't doing shit, and the offensive line isn't as good as it's been historically because of whatever, banged up, whatever, where people are starting to figure it out. I also heard that how cranky are you going to be if you keep running, 30-yard sprints down the field in 105 degrees and the ball's not coming your way.
Right.
So
Right.
let's move on. You're right. We
Right,
need to find the
right.
good, but I also think a lot of Philadelphia Eagle fans in the back of their head saw 10-1 turn into no playoffs a couple of years ago with a lot of these similar things leading up to that.
Right.
So we're a little
Yeah.
trigger, little what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, you're nervous.
We're gun shy.
Gun shy. Yeah.
All
there
right.
you go.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's go
okay,
game balls.
Let's go
Let's game balls.
Before we get to game bars, though, I want to remind everybody who's either watching us or listening to us, you can follow the Sports Porch Philadelphia on YouTube at Philadelphia Sports Porch, and on X, it's really easy at Philly Porch. And you can grab the podcast and listen anytime you want after the show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts. Now, Schwaber, move on. Page 2, game balls.
Game balls. That's Nick Sirianni. And look in the back, you can see Cooper DeJean's got a smile on his face.
How good was Cooper DeJean, man? He's just everywhere.
He is, man. I mean, he's really good.
I was extremely impressed with the way he covers, the way he goes to the ball. Extremely impressed in this game, and I have to admit I haven't watched a lot of him, but this game I actually focused on defense on watching him when I could. Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's a hell of a tackler. He's always in the right position.
Yeah, always there. So game balls, Schwaber.
Sure. Well, this is really a tough one because I don't know that any one player really stood out in this game. So I'm going to give, I guess, I'm going to give one to Dallas Goedert. He did score 2 touchdowns, and that's not something that happens a lot for tight ends. So I'm gonna give it up for Dallas Goedert. I'll give him a game ball. Rube?
Well, do we have multiple balls, or do we have to give it to one player?
Well, most of us have multiple balls.
We can do multiple balls.
Yeah,
okay.
multiple balls.
All right. So, notwithstanding the technical director's juvenile comments, here we go.
he was all over it too. Come on, Lord.
Number one, Quinyon Mitchell was special.
I thought about Quinyon Mitchell, but the only reason why I didn't go there, Rube, is because he was holding people all day. They just they weren't calling it.
The great ones do that, Schwab.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought especially the first quarter, the first half, he was all over the place.
Yeah,
Maybe he was a little too juiced, but he was making plays left and right. The second one, right? Well, actually, I have 3. The second one, the block kick, right? So Latu with the block kick, you got to give him a game ball for that. And listen, I think Braden Mann kicked a hell of a game. Every time he was booming punts all day long, especially when we weren't moving the ball and giving them a long field. Now they had 2 big plays that overcame that. But those are my 3 game balls for this week.
Okay. If I have to give a game ball, I'm going to give one to Fangio. For being a little shorthanded on defense, the offense isn't giving you any help in the second half. A Vic Fangio defense usually has kind of a bend, don't break aspect to it. And there were 2 big explosive plays, which is very rare against a Fangio defense. And he was able to sort of rebound from those and still get his guys to make the plays when they needed to. I think they had a fumble recovery, a interception, and a big sack in the tail end of the game. So that's huge.
Mine goes to Jihad Campbell for staying alive in that play when Baker Mayfield was trying to, do what Baker Mayfield does. He is like the slickest fire plug type white guy I've ever seen run on a football field. I mean, like Brett Favre was more graceful than Baker Mayfield, and somehow he finds ways to get it done. And Campbell didn't give up on that, and he got an interception, and that saved a touchdown. So,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Tom Brady said, the fine line between being a playmaker and not,
Yeah, did you know that Baker Mayfield, they had a stat, leads the league in touchdown passes since 2023?
Yeah.
Gunslinger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got great receivers. I mean, here's the other thing
Yeah.
that helped us. Mike Evans not playing was very helpful.
Mike Evans. Yeah. No, Mike Evans helped. Sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Those were the game balls. Now we got another game coming up this week. We're going to preview it. The Eagles are going to be playing in Denver at Mile High, or whatever the hell they're calling it.
I don't think that's right. I think it's in Philly.
Oh, is it in Philly?
Yeah.
Let me look.
Yeah.
The way this thing here is configured makes me think that it's in.
It's not. There's no rhyme or reason to when they do these things. That's just when you're looking up scores.
Yeah, it's in Philly. Never mind. The Eagles, the Broncos are traveling to the friendly confines of whatever the hell that place is called, Lincoln Financial
Field.
The Link. Coming into town. So, what do you guys think about this game? Is this a trap game?
Well, I don't think anything can be a trap game after the AJ Brown issues this week. Can it? I mean,
I don't know.
I think the Broncos are a good team. They're on the rise. They'll make the playoffs this year. I watched a little of the game last night, and I think Bo Nix is a legit quarterback. He threw some beautiful balls last night. Their defense is solid. I don't think there's any trap here. I think Peyton's a good coach. They're going to play hard for 60 minutes. So I think they're going to come in and give us a game.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a good defense. I mean, their defense has a lot of sacks. Just to give you an idea, I think like the Eagles have like 6 sacks on the year, and the Broncos have like 15. And the Eagles have something like 25 pressures, and the Broncos have like 52. I heard those stats today. So, they're going to put some pressure. They're going to bring some blitzes. So we're going to need a good game plan. I mean, I think the bottom line is that with our offensive line being banged up, I think you got to, do the short passing game, but more with like crossing routes, instead of just these like little outs where, the cornerbacks can very easily jump them. The bubble screens don't work if you've got Devontae Smith trying to block somebody. So let's do the crossing routes. Look, nobody can cover AJ Brown on a crossing route.
Or Devontae.
So just, run the crossing routes, get rid of the ball quick, and let's try to come up with some way to get Saquon Barkley going for goodness sakes. I mean, like the way I sort of look at it's like this. I mean, you got issues everywhere, right? You really do. I mean, who knows if Cam Jurgens is okay because,
what's wrong with him? What happened?
Well, he's fine, but he was injured in the Super Bowl last year, so I don't know. I haven't seen any pictures of Cam Jurgens like sprinting out and blocking somebody 10 yards down the field. So, there's that. Tyler Steen instead of Mekhi Becton. They say he's playing fine, but he's certainly not great or anything. You got Lane Johnson the past 2 weeks has been out. I think Landon Dickerson's the one who's really the one who's injured.
He's got a knee and a back.
Right. And, the only one who's like actually healthy is Jordan Mailata. So why don't we just run to Jordan Mailata's side for crying out loud? You know what I mean? Or if Lane is in there, let's run to Lane's side. But to be honest, I think running up the middle right now with Dickerson being a question mark because of his health, with Steen sort of being like, I'd say just like an average offensive lineman, and with Jurgens, maybe being a little bit undersized, and I'm not entirely sure how healthy he is. I just think these runs up the middle aren't the way to go. I'd like to see more runs out to the perimeter.
I'd like to see some swing passes to Saquon, get him moving and some big plays, and I think that'll open up things up the middle. But
Right.
I agree. Hey, question for you. We're struggling at defensive end. Where's the vanilla gorilla?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Where is he?
I don't know. I'd like
Actually,
to
you
see
know
him.
what? You know what? He wasn't a scratch last week, so he was on the field. He was probably playing special teams. But yeah, I'd like to see the Vanilla Gorilla get in there. There is there's actually, by the way, there's a little bit of talk. I'm wondering about this because look, we're very thin at defensive end. Nolan Smith is probably going to miss like 4 weeks or something. So basically you've got Jalix Hunt, who's really like it's his first year as a full-time player. And then you've got the guy who we signed who used to play for Minnesota or the Detroit Lions. And he's actually filling in pretty decently.
I didn't see him make one play this weekend. What's his name? I couldn't even tell you his name.
I'm drawing a blank on it.
Okay.
But there has been some talk that they might, believe it or not, the NFL trade deadline is only 4 weeks away. And Vic Fangio was interviewed this week, or actually today, and they asked him about being thin at defensive end. And he said, well, we are right now, but, we'll see what happens. And, if we need something, Howie will be on it. And it got everybody thinking, like, is he talking about Trey Hendrickson?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Because Trey Hendrickson, realize he only just signed to play this year. They just gave him more millions to play this year. That's all they did. They didn't give him like a big deal.
He's out.
So yeah, he's out. They know with Joe Burrow out, they're not winning anything. They know that. But especially let's say they lose like 2 out of the next 3 games, all of a sudden, they're sitting at like, I don't know, 3-5 or something.
It's time.
Like that.
It's time to free up some salary cap for next year.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
they need to revamp that defense because Hendrickson I'm not going to say he's a great player, but he's showing signs of being a great player. It's hard to say that about any Bengal, but
Zadarius Smith, by the way, is
yeah,
his name.
Zadarius Smith.
Yeah.
But I think definitely he would be an incredible addition to the defense. And now you've got a guy who can play at a high level who is all of a sudden he's on a team that should go to the Super Bowl. So he's got a lot to prove there. I want to get to my keys to victory here. Here's what I'm worried about the Broncos. I'm worried about J.K. Dobbins and his 5.7 yards per carry average. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about Bo Nix's 66% completion percentage. Now, he does have 7 touchdowns with 4 picks. So he's young, this is sophomore year. We've got great corners. It would be nice to get a couple turnovers. And Cortland Sutton is not a bad receiver, but I don't, he's just not the kind of receiver I think, I think either Mitchell, if he's going to shadow him like he shadowed Godwin, or their rookie receiver.
Right.
It was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, he was.
He was really good.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they need to get the run game established no matter what. And even if that means trying to run up the middle on Denver's defense, they got to do that because this is going to come down to clock management this game. And the Eagles have to have the time of possession on their side. They got to keep that defense fresh because the running game for the Broncos is not bad. It's pretty good. So that's the way I see it.
Fair points.
Oh, thanks so much. I'm glad I could contribute and that it's valid. Yes, you're welcome.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't know why, but for some reason, I don't really have a whole lot of concern about this game.
That's the trap game mentality.
The trap game.
That's
Trap
game
It's probably
mentality.
because you never watched Denver play, probably.
No, I do actually, and to be honest, I think they're a little overrated. I mean, like, look, their division sucks. Bo Nix is like a decent quarterback, but like, do I think he's a top 10 quarterback in this league? Nah, I think he's like top 15, maybe. Look, is Cortland Sutton supposed to scare me at receiver? I mean, look, I mean, he's decent, but
He's
I
he's
mean,
big, strong dude. He looks like AJ Brown out there.
it's not like Devontae Adams or CeeDee Lamb's out there. Um, and I mean, look, okay, the running back J.K. Dobbins. I mean, he's good. When he's not tearing his ACL. But
Oh,
I'm sorry.
You're brutal.
That was in poor taste.
Yes.
But look, I mean, am I scared of J.K. Dobbins? I mean, come on, like, we got Jalen Carter, we got the big boy Jordan Davis.
Hey,
We
by
got
the
a
way,
lot. We got a lot of guys who could stop.
what's going on? What's going on with Jalen Carter? Like 2 weeks ago, he was holding his wrist. Then we heard it's a shoulder. I think the wrist was because of a shoulder. He was looking hurt again this weekend.
Yeah.
What's is there something we need to be worried about there?
I don't know. Who knows?
There's a lot of physical contact in football, Rube. So I think there's a lot of nicks and bumps and bruises. I don't know if you knew that, but
there's also a bow necks.
Yeah. Was that the worst dad joke of all time?
Can we move on? Can we
all
talk
right,
about?
move on.
Can we talk about? Don't we got some playoffs to talk about here?
Here's what happens, Rube. Here's what happens. We move this show to accommodate you, and then you decide you're not going to show up, okay, because of work. Yeah, work. I don't know where my other finger at work. All right. And then it's like, oh my God,
with the other fingers.
Oh my God. It's a horrible sentence you just said. But then it's oh my God. I just got here at 6. I rolled in 20 minutes ago, so I'm all over the place. And Schwaber and I have kind of developed a little bit of a rhythm without you here, and you're kind of messing it up. So I think you should just sit back and relax. Try to get on the ride again with us, but don't jump. Just ease your way back in. You think that'll be all right?
I'm losing here.
Where did that come from? Wow.
You know exactly. You know exactly.
Guy gets a haircut and now he thinks he's all that.
Well, you know what?
It is the hair comics.
He's the technical director, and while he might stock shelves in this environment, he's the boss.
El Jefe.
You will listen to me, motherfucker. Anyway, okay. All right.
Can we move on, please?
Look, if you're enjoying this, or even if you're not, I'm going to ask you, please follow us on the Sports Porch Philadelphia every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. until Rube decides it needs to be different again because he's got to get on a plane to Taiwan. YouTube at Philadelphia Sports Porch, X at Philly Porch. That's where you can follow us every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, we're talking all things Philly sports. We just went over the Eagles and game balls and all that good stuff. So if you're listening or if you're watching, you didn't catch up, go listen to the podcast. Anywhere you get your podcast, the Sports Porch Philadelphia. We did our game balls. Now we're going to move on to something that is just glorious because the Phillies
in 4 hours and 12 minutes. It is Red October.
You got it, baby. You got it. Absolutely. So
5 hours and 12 minutes for you, Rube.
Thank you. Right.
Don't you mean days?
No. He's talking about tomorrow 30th. Is October. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant when the series started. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And Schwaber, you got a lot to say about this. So here's our first creative piece. The Phillies, the second best record in baseball. Lay it on us, Schwaber.
Well, here's how the league ended up, right? I think it's wide open. There's no 100-win team this year. Milwaukee finished with the best record in baseball. Phillies were 1 game behind them. Then you have the Blue Jays and the Yankees were 3 games behind them. But I didn't want to leave out the last team on this visual here. The New York Mets have an E because they were eliminated. They were unable to take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins, and prior to that, they were unable to take 2 out of 3 from the Washington Nationals, and the highest payroll in baseball just clinched time with their families.
I'll tell you what.
Is there anything else you wanted to say about this list? I'm just
No, not really. But
that was that,
He didn't even really care about the list. But here's what I'm going to give you a quick takeaway, and then we'll move on to the next graphic. And,
no,
and
that was I was offering it up on a silver platter for you for a public apology, but okay.
Why would he apologize?
What about the Reds?
No.
Well, about
but
what?
I did predict the Reds. I will
About
take
what?
you back to the March 24th episode, which is right around the Grand Schwabini's birthday, when we were calling around the 40-minute about the 40-minute mark about someone calling somebody else's pick the dumbest pick of all time or something to that effect.
That is right. The
I'd
Blue Jays.
I'd like a public apology, please.
Did I do that?
No, it was me. I said that.
I think the TD actually got in with a little shot too, but that's okay. It was mostly Grand Schwabini telling me how stupid I was.
Rob, I apologize. You are very knowledgeable. You really understood what was behind the Toronto Blue Jays this year. You understood that this team was destined for a late postseason run, and I give you kudos, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Now, here's how I see things on this list, and then we'll move on. My favorite to win the World Series is the Brewers. See if you can figure out why.
Is it because they've got the best record in the league?
No.
Is it the run differential?
That's exactly what it is. My follow-up to that is the Yankees, and then just go in order down the list. This is what wins. Now, I think the Phillies can win it. That's what I'm going to say, and that's who I want to win. But hey, when have I ever been right about anything?
Have the Brewers ever won the World? Have the Brewers ever won the World Series?
I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I'm thinking Robin Yount, Paul Molitor.
I don't think they won.
Paul Molitor won it when he was on the Twins, I think.
On a different team.
All right, we're gonna find this out right now. Let's move on to the next graphic here, and you guys can argue about that all you want.
All right, I just wanted to.
Milwaukee Brewers have never won the World Series.
Their
only World Series appearance was in 1982, and they lost to the Cardinals in 7.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking about.
The Milwaukee Braves in 1957, before they moved to Atlanta. Did win the World Series in 1957. So there you go.
Yeah.
I
will say, that 57 team was insane.
Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to point out some of the highlights of the Phillies season, kind of individual wise. So you want to put up one of those?
Yeah, we're going to do that right now. I am going to pull up. Well, let's talk about the big one. I think anyway, the batting title for Trey Turner.
Well, you might say big. I would say smallest ever. Because I think it is the lowest. I think it is the lowest batting average ever for a batting title at 304.
Yeah, but he won,
and he didn't play the last month and a half, except for one game, the last game. So, but look, hey. Somebody has to be on top, and Trey was on top, so we'll take
qualified.
it.
Yeah, he
give
qualified.
Give the guy some credit.
Trey.
I'm actually trying to dig up some of our buy and sells from the beginning of the season, and I think what we were concerned about most with him was his fielding, and I actually think I don't have the stats in front of me. He actually played a pretty good shortstop this year.
He did. He improved in all aspects, but at the same time, all that really matters now is the playoffs, and I'm looking at a guy who's pretty cold. He's played one game in 2 months, and now he's got to put up some numbers in the playoffs. So let's just hope. Let's hope he's ready, man. All right, what's the next one there?
Would you be against playing Edmundo Sosa, who's been playing quite well?
How about it?
Yeah. I mean, you can't. I mean, you got to play Trey Turner. He's the batting champ. He's your star player.
I mean, if he struggles,
here's another one.
Another one, 56 home runs.
Kyle Schwarber.
And
I got to take an aside here. I got to take an aside here and say I
All right,
rode
I
Kyle
know.
Schwarber.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
my fantasy team,
Yeah.
blah,
But
blah,
I
blah.
didn't win.
Yeah.
But I didn't win. I came in second place. But thank you, Kyle Schwarber. Go ahead.
Yes. So he led the league in home runs and in RBIs. Hell of a season for the Schwarbomb.
Hell of a
Resign
season.
resign that man.
Yes,
Hell of a
re-sign
season.
it.
Yeah, that's going to be a big
and
story.
actually, I think the next one here is the most interesting.
That would be Sanchez.
Yes. So, Rob,
And
would you believe that Christopher Sanchez
Wow.
had the second highest WAR in all of baseball and number 1 in the National League?
I never would have thought that. And I don't know what war means.
WAR
wins
means
over. Go ahead.
wins above replacement, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
And what does that mean?
Essentially what it means is that if you didn't have this guy on your team, figure that the Phillies lose 8 more games.
Okay, I think that's a good way to
No,
explain it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, the Phillies are, what we finished 97,
96.
96.
Yeah.
So if we don't have Christopher Sanchez, this team's winning 88 games.
Yeah, 96 and 66. So you would have been 88 and 74, and
Does that
maybe
make him
playoffs.
Does that make him the Cy Young?
No, unfortunately, I think that still doesn't count as much. Paul Skeens is going to win the Cy Young. Well, first of all, Paul Skeens was only like 2 down from Christopher Sanchez on the WAR.
Yeah.
Where did he end? What was his record? Did he end over 500?
10 and 10.
10 and 10. So it's not a losing record.
It's not
10
under
and
500.
10 and 10
Yeah.
with a 1.97 ERA and like
tied
220 strikeouts.
Yeah, like tied for the league in strikeouts. I think Sanchez is maybe like
he's
10
a
strikeouts below him. Now Sanchez has a way better record. I mean, I think he was like 13 and 5 or something like that. But
Yep.
Yep. I mean, look, they want Paul Skeens to be the guy, so I can't imagine that they wouldn't give it to him with the 1.97 ERA.
I'd rather have the World Series. And he's going to be our ace. We're going to have to ride him.
Yeah, I would too. I would too. Okay, here on the Sports Porch Philadelphia. Page 5. That was page 5. Page 6. Well, let's dive into what is going to happen when the playoffs actually begin, because I do believe the Phillies get a bye. So the Phillies starting rotation.
So, Rube, I believe this is going to be it. It's going to be Sanchez, Suarez, Luzardo. Now, let's say if you do win the first series, because it's only I think it's a 5-game series. If you do win the first series, then the next 2 series, if you go that far, you pretty much have to use 4 starters. So the big question is, who is your 4th starter? Is it Aaron Nola, or is it, what is it, Buehler, Walker Buehler?
The Buehler/Walker, the Buehler-Walker combo.
Right.
Buehler.
So Walker Buehler, since coming to the Phils, has been phenomenal. I think he's like 4-0 with like a 2.2 ERA or something. And he's obviously got postseason success. Then you've got Nola, who's up and down. His last start was a good start.
It was an exceptional start.
Yeah, but he's privy to the home run ball. And then I guess the question is, do they put Nola in because he sort of earned his way with the Phillies? I mean, he's now the second leading strikeout pitcher of the Phillies of all time, second to Robin Roberts. Is that second to Robin Roberts or Steve Carlton? I'm not sure. But
I think it's Steve Carlton.
Yeah, probably Steve Carlton. But but I don't know. And I guess, and then the other side of it, Rube, is, do you feel comfortable with Luzardo over either of those 2 guys as your game 3 starter?
I mean, Luzardo. So here's my feeling. One corny dad joke. When's the last time you had 3 guys with the name Z pitching or with Z in their name? It is Steve Carlton, by the way.
That may actually be dumber than your Toronto Blue Jays pick, but please continue.
Some people call it observant. I think these are the three right guys, right? Over the course of the season, these are our most winning pitchers, right?
Yeah.
Look at Luzardo. How many wins did Luzardo have? Like 16 or 17 wins?
I think he had 14 wins. It was like 14-5 or something like that.
Yeah. So
no, you guys are 15-7. 15.
Yeah, I knew he was up there. I mean, he had a hell of a record. His ERA, but we're going to have to hit the ball anyway. These are the horses who brought you here this year. These are the horses you go with. And I think as far as if we need a fourth starter, Nola's got to be your guy. He had a lot of rest this season. He just pitched an exceptional ball game. And when push comes to shove, I think he gets the benefit of the doubt, and we'll see how he does.
I don't know. 5-10, 5-10 with a 6 ERA.
I mean, I would say with Nola, you make him like the long relief man.
Yes.
So if one of your starters gets knocked out in the third inning, then you bring in Nola to pitch 4 innings.
So you go Buehler. Go Buehler. Okay.
Yeah. Now, this is kind of strange, though. I mean, when's the last time there were 3 left-handed starting pitchers in a postseason?
That's interesting. These guys are all lefties, and they all have a Z in their name.
Yeah, I know. Don't forget. Don't forget. We may actually be onto something here. I may have to retract your comment. Or retract my comment about your comment.
What's the disadvantage? I don't know enough about the history of baseball to know whether has any team ever had their top 3 lefties. I can't imagine that's an advantage because everyone's just going to play their right-handed hitters.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's why we're not the manager. Yeah. So,
what do you think? Hey, TD, what do you think? You think these are the right 3, and then who would you pitch for the 4th?
Let me look. I had all their stats up. I absolutely think these are the right 3 without question. I mean, this is the direction you go in, no matter what. They're
the horses. They're the horses who brought
them. Now Wheeler is out, so
thanks for letting us know.
Well, I know. I'm thinking out loud. I'm thinking out loud. I think with
how did more people not listen to this show? I don't understand.
Don't worry, they will come. Walker Buehler, there's just not a lot on him. I mean, he looks fantastic. I actually would probably go Buehler. And I agree with Schwaber's statement about Nola. I think he's the perfect long relief guy if one of these guys gets in trouble early and you go to him.
He's never done it in his career, though. So why wouldn't you do the opposite? Why wouldn't you put him in a position where he's more comfortable? And if he doesn't do it, you bring your long reliever in like a Buehler.
I gotta be honest with you. I think this position is one that he would be very comfortable in, given what he's had to go through this year and the fact that his statistics leading up to his injury, things really, really were starting to look bad and the wheels were coming off. And now he's very, very, or not very, very. Now he's back and he's getting comfortable in his shoes. And he realizes that these are the 3 guys that have earned the right to start the first 3 games. And there's another guy or 2 that have probably earned the right and are in the flow of things. And you take the pressure off of him by using him as that lead or as that long reliever or middle innings guy. You give him a chance to earn that for himself. There it is. There it is. Any rebuttal to that?
No, my rebuttal was I think you start him for the reason I said. So Grant Schwabini is going to have to break the tie here.
He can't. He's the one that suggested this idea. Unless I change.
No, I would make him the longer reliever. I mean, look, the bottom line is he since coming back from the injured list, I believe he's had like 4 starts, and 2 of them were very good, but 2 of them were also still horrible.
Yeah.
Like there was one where he didn't give up a hit for like 4 innings, and then he gave up 6 runs in like the 5th inning. I mean, with 2 home runs, right?
Well, that's his kryptonite inning is the 5th inning after the first couple times through the order. Listen, I think when all is said and done, the rotation's good. It's not obviously not as great as it was. regardless of whether it's Nola or Bueller / Taiwan Walker combo, we have to hit. And if we hit,
Yep.
I think the pitching, it takes a lot of the pressure off the pitching. If we don't hit, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Now, Schwaber, once the bye is over and we find out who, I think if there's a team the Phillies need to look out for, it's the Cubs, by the way, and we find out who the Phillies are going to play.
Yep.
Are you going to be running out an after game, recap? Like, I don't
know.
You don't
know. I don't know.
I think you have the energy.
Stay tuned.
For it?
Stay tuned.
All right, you're going to need a little training for that, maybe, because I think the fans would really appreciate it.
Well, they might. I
know I would.
It depends. I mean, sometimes, I don't got to go to Taiwan for work, but
yeah.
I do have to sometimes drive like 45 minutes.
Oh, 45 minutes.
And leaving the house at 7:30.
Are you kidding me? 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy for me. It ain't easy being me.
Oh, good Lord.
Maybe you can hire me.
Yeah, that could be your side hustle after you get a job down at Trader Joe's with me.
There you go.
Okay, follow the Sports Porch Philadelphia on YouTube. If you're watching us, click that subscribe button, hit notifications. You'll know every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. that we are live and we are ready to entertain you and insult each other. So, and on X, please follow us at Philly Porch. I'm going to drop the podcast right after the show. The last part of our show is a part where we try to give back to you. Page 7. This is called Stream Sauce. We have one this evening.
Only one.
Because Rube was running late. He got off a plane from Taiwan and ran as fast as he could out of the airport. I think he ran all the way home.
It was Dallas. He was driving from Dallas.
Okay. I drove home for Dallas, and I'm just fine. Thank you very much.
Okay.
By the way, did you get to listen to any sports radio of Dallas fans complaining about their team?
I did. Yeah. They actually had Stephen Jones on one of the radio shows.
Oh, really?
And they got him to say, well, at least we didn't lose. That's what his dad said. But listen, I give Dallas credit. They haven't folded up 10. Their defense just sucks. But their offense looked damn good. So I think they're going to try to go figure out.
Listen, go ahead.
Yeah. So I didn't give them any shot against the Packers. So for all that the crap that they've been and what they've lost between Parsons and CeeDee Lamb, two of their best players, I think they're playing respectable football, and I don't think I'd want to play them anytime soon.
Yeah, I still am not impressed completely with Jordan Love. I think he's good. I said this at the beginning of the year. Well, let's just say it's not that I'm not impressed. I think he's good. I'm just not sold on him being the Aaron Rodgers replacement yet. That's all.
What was interesting? Sorry to interrupt you, TD, but one of the sports writers was saying, the Cowboys go out and fix their defense and turn over the bottom of their roster, and they get Deron Bland back, and then Diggs starts playing like him. Maybe we go out and get a Hendrickson, and we're right in there. The division's wide open. The Eagles have too many flaws. They're going to falter. We've seen it with them before, and I was just kind of snickering at that. The Giants are the Giants, and who knows what you're going to get with the Commanders this year. So they actually had some hope that we've been in these games against good teams, and if we can fix the defense, we'll be okay. That's the prevailing winds right now there.
Yeah, and I can't say that I disagree with that 100%. However, what I will say, and again, here we go, somehow on this show, we always go back to something related to the Pittsburgh Steelers. George Pickens has a couple games a year like this. In between, what is going to happen is, I know he's featured now because CeeDee Lamb's down, and the quarterback is a lot better than what he had in Pittsburgh. So this could change. I'm leaving the door open for that. But if he follows his usual trajectory, this next game, he's not going to get as many targets, or he's not going to have he's not going to make an impact, and you're going to see the real George Pickens again. And this is going to happen all year long. And you know what? The Cowboys are gluttons for punishment. This is the type of culture they've always bred under Jerry Jones. So maybe he fits right in and this all works out for them. If they do trade for Trey Hendrickson, I don't think it's going to fix the defense. It's just going to, he's not as good as Micah Parsons, but it's going to help them. But I don't see that happening right now. I think they've got a lot of other issues that they're dealing with. But you know what? Jerry Jones is a wild card. I'm telling you, you guys, you got to watch that Jerry Jones documentary. It's not going to change your mind. It's not going to make you like him, but you're going to understand the way this guy thinks. And
I love Jerry Jones. I hope he lives to 150.
Of course,
and continues to run this team.
Well, he's going to live to 150 because his son is taking over the team for sure.
So
and
there
there's
you
going
go.
to be at least another 20, 30 years of
Jerry
a Jones
is
in
the
charge.
best thing ever to happen to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. All right, guys. Schwaber, page 7. Let's wrap this up with a little stream sauce.
Well, what is stream sauce, Chris?
Yeah. I'm not going to comment on that because we're trying to keep this a relatively clean family type show, motherfucker.
You realize what you just said, and then you made it not family friendly?
Of course. I know.
I'm really disappointed in you.
Oh, I know. But you've been disappointed in me for about 32 of the 35 years.
That is true. That is true. And
I haven't known you. I've known you almost as long as Schwab has, but not obviously as well. And I'm pretty disappointed in you too.
Rube, you have nothing to be disappointed in. You hardly know me.
It's kind of like I think maybe the more you're around me, I can change you. But then I realize, no.
We're taking a trip. Oh, you know what? We got to do this. We have to do this now because we still have people paying attention. The 2025 Greater Philadelphia Cheesesteak Challenge was won by Gazzo's in Pottstown. The runner-up was Lilo's in New Jersey, and third place was Curly's in Levittown. And in 2 weeks, we are traveling out to Philadelphia. We're going to stop at all 3 joints. We're going to stop at a couple other ones. We're going to give them their awards. We're going to hang out. We're going to eat some great food. Let me tell you. I really am going on a diet for this week and next week. Like I'm eating nothing but yogurt and maybe a salad, maybe a Chick-fil-A burger, or chicken sandwich. But I'm cutting it down because these guys, man, they pump out the food and it's so good you can't stop. Stop eating it. So it's going to be a fun trip. Me and Schwaber will be on the road. We're going to do some live stuff on Philadelphia Beautiful and on YouTube. So you want to pay attention to that and even maybe stop out at these places. We'll try to do some shit ahead of time so people know where we're going to be. But I can't wait. Last year was so much fun, except listening to Schwaber snore because we had to share a hotel room. But other than that, it was so much fun. I can't wait.
What are you guys, 7 sharing hotel rooms? You can't afford a hotel room?
All right. Well, let's go to stream sauce, otherwise known as what we're watching. And this is the part of the show where we give back to you, our fans, our audience, our family. We know how hard it is to pick out a good show. And for that reason, we do it for you. So you don't have to do it. You don't have to waste the time surfing channel to channel, watching trailers, banging your head against the wall. No more. We will tell you 2 thumbs up, watch it. It's a lock. Or 2 thumbs down, forget about it. It ain't worth your time. So with that being said, this week I completed.
This is, and we have one this week from the Grand Schwabini. Here you go. You have completed.
Yep, on Amazon Prime, The Terminalist Dark Wolf, an origin story, which basically means it's a prequel to the original Terminalists on Amazon Prime. Have either of you guys seen either the original or this one?
Can't say that I have.
I did. I watched the first Terminalist.
But
I think it's like 3 or 4 years old, right?
It is. It's old. Yeah.
So I get the gist. I remember bits and pieces. I'm going to have to go back and watch it again, which I will because I do want to watch this. I like the Terminalist.
Yeah. So basically, Taylor Kitsch, he's really the star of the show. There's also Chris Pratt's in it. And what you have to realize is they are Navy SEALs. They're involved in some pretty serious goings on in the Middle East, and sort of what happens in this scenario is Taylor Kitsch gets himself in a little bit of trouble, sort of taking justice into his own hands. Navy SEALs kick him out, and so what's he going to do now? Well, you've got a certain set of skills. You become a mercenary. And so he
Taylor
starts.
Kitsch, sorry to interrupt. He's the running back from Friday Night Lights, right?
Yes, he is.
Texas Forever. Every time I see him, that's what I think about.
And he's also phenomenal in that show that you recommended to me, Chris. What was that called again?
He played David Koresh in the Waco thing.
Yeah. I can't remember, dude.
It was like American something.
Oh yeah, American. Yeah, it was the Western.
Right, it was really good.
Yeah, it was. I called it the greatest streaming show I ever watched in my life, and I forgot what the name of it.
Oh wow!
Right. It's awesome, that one. But anyway,
yeah. Wait a minute, I'm looking it up for our fans.
Go watch the show that we can't name.
All right,
How do you spell his name? How do you spell his name? Taylor, Taylor.
Yep.
Kitsch.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We have to do this because let's see. Come on, man. Let's do that. That's going to be harder. Taylor Kitsch, Netflix. I'm going to have some new monitors. I won't have to look away soon, by the way. Primeval. American Primeval. That's what it was.
American Primeval. That was
awesome.
That
was fantastic.
It was awesome. It was great, Rob. You should watch
it.
I'll check it out.
But
it's a limited series. Blows your mind.
But that's not what we're talking about here.
No.
We're talking about the terminal list.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about right here.
So basically, Taylor takes justice into his own hands. The Navy SEALs kick him out. And then he is very quickly recruited to be part of the old special ops team that nobody knows about, right? And essentially, it's kind of very tied into like stuff that's happened recently in the news. Iran is close to getting a nuclear weapon, and essentially they're working with Mossad to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. And it's really good. I mean, it's just very entertaining. There's a lot of interesting kind of aspects to it in terms of, who's bad, who's doing bad things in the government, that kind of stuff. So I think if you like any of those types of movies, or TV shows where it's like SEAL teams are involved, then you'll really like it.
I love those types of shows.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it. Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
There you go. And I just want to give you an update. Last week, I did review Orphan Black season 3. I'm literally 20 minutes away from season 4. So I will be probably reviewing season 4 next week. Okay. If that gives you any hint as to how I feel about this show. So,
really good for you.
I am. I'm very into it.
By the way, I have another one on deck. That's a Netflix one. That's an 8 episode. That I'll tell you what, I didn't even know it existed. It's relatively new. It really didn't get much fanfare, and it's really awesome. So I'll be reviewing that next week.
Awesome. All right, guys, that's our show for tonight. And if you're watching us on YouTube, on X, or on Facebook, subscribe, follow, hit notification buttons every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. For now, we will be back at you with everything Philly sports. Until next week, I want to thank Rube. I want to thank the Grand Schwabini. I lost my train of thought here. I'm your TD. Follow us at Philadelphia Sports Porch or at Philly Porch on X. Great show, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.